Hey guys, welcome. So, I purchased a fragrance recently. It is a new release and it is Vicebomb by Simone Andreoli. I hope I said that correctly. And just let me tell you guys, I loved this fragrance. So, I have unboxed it. I have been wearing it now for 3 days. And as I said, I love it. Let's talk about it and see what it's all about. If you're new to my channel and you love fragrance, or perhaps you've been here before, please don't forget to subscribe, hit notifications, and like this video. It really does help to support my channel. Thanks, guys. Okay, guys, so I did blind buy, like pretty usual for me, this fragrance, and I purchased it based off the scent notes. Check out these scent notes. So, as you can see from the notes above, it is everything I love, and I'm always on the lookout for cherry fragrances that are non medicinal, fully gourmand, and beautiful. With notes like red fruits, caramel, sugar, vanilla, I was hooked. But unfortunately, I've had, I wouldn't say some bad blind buys, but I've had some fragrance purchases of late, especially in the cherry department, that I haven't loved. So I was a little reluctant, but I'm so glad that I did blind buy this fragrance. Okay, guys, so I just wanted to show you the product packaging. It's beautiful. It comes in this black and gold beautiful box, and it looks absolutely stunning. It will look beautiful on anybody's display. I actually display my fragrances ordinarily with the boxes at the back and then the fragrances at the front. So the box for me is really important because it does sit up on my shelf. And here is the bottle here, guys. It is a beautiful heavy set glass. The atomizer is beautiful. The whole experience, even though it's quite minimalistic, it's very chic, very modern, and I love it. Okay, so as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I'm always on the lookout for a cherry fragrance, but the issue that I run into all the time is that cherry fragrances tend to smell quite medicinal. And with that medicinal medicine quality, they actually remind me of a childhood medication I used to take for asthma, which is Newland. And nobody wants to be reminded of that. I've actually had this issue with many cherry fragrances that I've purchased that I actually like other than that. Lost Cherry by Tom Ford, Venom of Love by Navitus, and Love First Burning Cherry by Kayali. That's just three dimension. There's so many more out there that I purchased that I got that vibe with. But I'm so pleased to say that while, look, don't get me wrong, there is a little subtle bit of that medicinal quality. This is very different to most of the cherry fragrances that I have tried. This to me is more of a cherry dominant fragrance infused with caramel. I also get some sort of a rich red berry scent and almost a cafe coffee type of vibe. When I smell this fragrance, it reminds me of so many things, but one of them that come off the top of my head is like a rich, indulgent cherry vanilla ice cream. So caramel is one of my all-time favorite fragrance notes. I mean, I love it. And I find that in a lot of caramel fragrances or fragrances that are listed with caramel, they don't really look, while you may be able to pick it up, it isn't a crazy caramel scent. I love the fact that the caramel in this fragrance is almost just as dominant as the cherry itself. It's a juicy, plump, maybe a little overripe cherry that's been like injected with caramel, and it's just ooey and gooey and oozing out everywhere. It is a dessert cherry fragrance for sure. So this fragrance actually, funny enough, does share some similarities to Venom of Love by Navitus, which is a recent fragrance purchase of mine. It wasn't a love at first sniff for me, Venom of Love, despite its hype and popularity. While I did enjoy aspects of the fragrance, I didn't love it. Whereas when I sprayed this one, I actually loved it, even though it did remind me of Venom of Love. What I also really enjoy about this fragrance is that it's not just another yet dupe for Lost Cherry by Tom Ford. While a lot of cherry fragrances do kind of share that common thread, I don't think of lost cherry when I smell this fragrance. It is like a different type of cherry scent. If you love the idea of a rich, inviting, creamy coffee caramel cherry candy scent that's not adolescent in any way, this is very grown up, definitely sample this one, guys. I actually probably think this is one of my favorite cherry fragrances I've ever tried. Like, it's almost up there with Caltat Night by ATAR Collection, which is probably my most favorite cherry fragrance. I wore this fragrance for about a 3 day period. Day one, I actually wore it solo, obviously, to see how it performed. And I got around 4 hours out of it, maybe 4.5, before I stopped picking it up on myself, which I'm pretty happy with, considering so many cherry fragrances out there just drop off the face of the earth within minutes. I was really happy with the longevity and projection. I did get a compliment the very first time I ever wore it. A lady walked up to me and she said, "Oh my gosh, you smell so yummy. What are you wearing?" So definitely compliment getting. But the other thing that I did with it, so while I wore it for 3 days, I layered it the other two. I layered it with Gentle Fluidy Gold on day 2 by MFK, which was delicious. And then I layered it with Kayali's Vanilla 28 on day 3. They're both very strong vanilla focused scents. And I think that that's where this fragrance shines. When you add that vanilla, it really does pop that cherry up, make it more intense, more gourmand and delicious. But then again, come to think of it, it would actually even go well with like a coconut fragrance, maybe Virgin Island Water by Creed, or another really yummy, aromatic, creamy, coconut scent, maybe Soleil Blanc by Tom Ford. There's a lot of versatility with this fragrance, and the cherry just smells beautiful. Okay, guys, so that is my first impression on Vicebomb, a newer release fragrance. And for those of you who watch me regularly, you guys know I'm based in Australia, and it is really difficult to get your hands on samples, especially niche new release samples. So sometimes I've got no choice but to blind buy the bottles, which I haven't always had the best luck with, and I would never encourage anybody to blind buy. But these are one of the fragrances that I'm so happy that I was able to add to my collection and try, because it's one of the best cherry fragrances I've had the privilege of trying. Have you guys tried Vicebomb? I know it's a newer release, but please let me know out there what your thoughts were. Shoot it in the comments below and let me know. Did you love it as much as I did? Thank you so much, Scent Freaks. I love and appreciate you all, and I hope to see you next time. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.